Buckle up, everybody, because we're diving head first into something pretty incredible.
Yeah.
GPT Migrate.
Oh, yeah. This is a big one.
It is a big one.
I was reading up on this and just
I know.
my mind was blown.
It's like we're living in the future.
Yeah. Really.
It's like picture this. You've got this massive code base, right?
Yes.
And you just switch it over to a whole other language.
Just the worst.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
But with GPT Migrate,
It's like magic.
it's like ordering takeout.
Exactly.
You just tell it what you want and boom, done.
It's handled.
Yeah.
It's like having a whole team of like super powered code translators.
I know, and we've got all this juicy info from the technical docs and promo stuff.
The good stuff.
So let's break it down for everyone listening. What exactly is GPT Migrate?
Mm-hmm.
What problem is it trying to solve?
Okay, so you know how migrating code bases can be like a developer's worst nightmare? It takes forever. It's super error prone.
Oh, so many errors.
And you got to be fluent in both languages.
Right. The original and the new one.
Yeah, it's a mess. But GPT Migrate aims to automate that whole thing.
Oh.
Using AI, specifically LLMs, those large language models we've all been hearing about.
So it's like you feed it your code, tell it the new language,
Exactly.
and it just takes it from there.
Pretty much, yeah. It tries to do the heavy lifting for you.
That's wild.
It is.
So instead of spending weeks, months,
Wild.
rewriting everything by hand,
Yeah.
developers could just use GPT Migrate to handle the grunt work.
Exactly.
And then they can focus on the creative
The
stuff.
fun stuff. Exactly.
Strategic stuff.
Yeah. And the stuff that really needs that human touch, you know?
Now, the documentation, it mentions this 8-step process
8 steps. What?
for how GPT Migrate actually works.
Okay, 8 steps. Let's hear it.
Can you walk us through some of the key highlights?
Absolutely.
All right, lay it on us.
So one of the most innovative steps is it actually creates this custom Docker environment
Okay.
for the target language.
Got the new language.
Right, for the language you're migrating to.
Gotcha.
This makes sure that the migrated code has like everything it needs.
Everything it needs.
To run smoothly.
In the new environment.
Exactly. It's not just translating words, you know?
No, it's like recreating the whole ecosystem
Exactly.
that the code depends on.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive when you think about it.
That is really impressive.
And another really cool thing, it does this iterative debugging process.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So it doesn't just like spit out the code and pray it works.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, it actually analyzes the code it generates.
So it's checking its own work,
Yeah, it looks for errors, tries to fix them.
like a human developer would.
Exactly. It's wild.
It's learning as it goes,
You got it.
refining the output.
Yep. With each iteration.
That's amazing.
Mm.
And to make sure that the migrated code actually works.
Right, because what's the point otherwise?
Right. It uses Python's Unitist framework
Oh, that's smart.
to automatically generate and run tests.
Oh, so it's not just debugging itself.
Right.
It's actually testing the functionality.
Making sure it behaves as intended.
Wow, okay. They've thought of everything.
So it can even test those unit tests against the original application.
Yes. What?
Yeah.
If you have the original application running,
Wow.
GPT Migrate can compare the output of the new code.
Against the old code.
Yeah, like a double check.
That's incredible.
I know, right? It blows my mind.
That's like next level stuff.
It is. It's so smart.
This whole prompt design system sounds really sophisticated.
It is. It is.
Can you break it down for us non-technical folks out there?
Okay, so imagine you're giving the AI like a super specific recipe
Okay.
for how to handle the migration.
A recipe for code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The prompt design system is like this hierarchical structure, right?
Okay.
It starts with these broad guidelines.
Okay, broad strokes.
And then it gets more and more granular,
More and more specific.
down to like the level of formatting the output.
Just like giving it a detailed blueprint
Yeah,
for how to translate the code.
you got it.
Making sure it's consistent
And accurate, yeah.
throughout the process.
It's this level of detail that lets GPT Migrate handle such a complex task.
With a reasonable degree of, I guess, precision.
Exactly.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
No, with all this power,
Right, because it's powerful.
what kind of organizations could really benefit from GPT Migrate?
Oh, the potential is huge. Like, let's start with startups.
Okay, startups.
Imagine you're a small team.
Okay.
You're racing to get a prototype out there.
Got it, the MVP.
Right. You might pick a simple language like Python
Sure, to start.
for the initial development.
Makes sense.
But then your product takes off.
It goes viral.
You need a more robust framework like Node.js.
To handle all those users.
That was traffic, yeah.
Instead of facing that daunting rewrite.
Oh, it would be daunting.
You could just leverage GPT Migrate
Right, and make the switch smoothly.
efficiently.
It could be a game changer for startups. It totally could, allowing them to adapt to scale as they grow.
Exactly.
Now, what about large enterprises?
Ooh. Yeah.
They're grappling with tons of legacy code,
Oh, yeah, that old stuff.
outdated languages.
They face massive hurdles when they try to modernize.
It's a nightmare.
It can be, yeah. I've heard stories of these migrations taking years,
Years.
and they're still full of bugs.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's rough. But GPT Migrate offers a potential solution
Okay.
by streamlining the whole process.
So it could save companies
Tons of time and money.
and headaches.
So many headaches.
Now, it's not just big companies, though, right?
Well, not at all.
Individual developers could find this incredibly useful.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. You want to learn a new language.
But who has the time?
Right. You don't want to spend weeks on tutorials.
No way.
So with GPT Migrate, you could take a project.
One you've already built.
Yeah, in one language.
And just instantly convert it.
Boom. There it is.
In another
You
language.
dive right into the practical stuff.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal coding tutor
I love that analogy.
that can translate your work.
Into any language.
I love it.
It's pretty cool, right?
Okay, so we've got startups, enterprises, individual developers. It sounds like GPT Migrate has the potential to touch every corner of the software development world.
I think so, yeah.
And we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, we are.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's talk about how someone would actually use this tool
Okay, the practical stuff.
in practice.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's say I'm a busy professional. I want to try GPT Migrate.
Okay, I love it.
What do I need to get started?
All right, you'll need a few key things. Docker,
Okay. Yeah.
an API key for either OpenAI or OpenRouter,
Okay.
and Python.
Got it. And don't worry, everyone, we'll put links to all that in the show notes.
Always.
Okay, once I have those set up, what's next?
So you install GPT Migrate using the instructions on GitHub.
Okay.
And the main way you interact with it is through the command line.
Command line. Okay.
So you would type in a command specifying the source language,
The original language.
right, the target language, and location of your code.
And where I want the new code saved.
Exactly.
That sounds straightforward.
It is. It is.
Even for someone who's not a command line wizard.
Yeah, they've really tried to make it user-friendly.
They've made it easy.
There are some more advanced options if you want to get fancy.
Okay, I'll stick to the basics for now.
But the core functionality is very accessible.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, it's important to remember that GPT Migrate is still in alpha development, right?
Right, it's early days.
So what are some of the limitations?
Yeah, it's good to have realistic expectations here.
Of course.
While the potential is huge, it's still a work in progress.
It makes sense.
One thing is that its performance can vary,
Okay,
depending on the complexity of the code.
that makes sense.
So the documentation mentions that it handles simpler languages.
Like Python?
Yeah, Python and JavaScript.
They're simpler.
More effectively than, say, C++ or Rust.
Oh, okay. More complex languages.
Yeah, those are tougher for it.
Gotcha.
The developers are very upfront about that.
They're honest.
Yeah, it's not a magic bullet.
Not yet, at least.
Right, but even with these limitations.
They can still do some pretty remarkable things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned the GPT-assisted debugging.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a video demonstrating that in the source material.
You gotta see it.
It's honestly mind-blowing
It is. It's really impressive.
to automatically identify and fix errors.
It's a huge step forward.
So even if the initial translation isn't perfect,
Yeah, it's not always going to be perfect right away.
GPT Migrate can help you get the code up and running.
Exactly. It's like having an AI pair programmer.
It's like having a buddy,
Yeah, checking your work.
constantly checking for mistakes.
Yeah, and suggesting improvements.
This is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah, this is just the start.
The developers have a whole roadmap
Big plans.
for future improvements.
So the roadmap mentions handling larger code bases.
That's key for enterprise-level projects.
Absolutely. They're also working on allowing it to access dependencies
Okay,
from other files during debugging.
so it's getting smarter,
Yeah, it'll have a more comprehensive understanding of the code.
leading to even more accurate error correction.
That's the goal.
And they're even exploring other LLMs beyond GPT-4.
Yeah, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Different LLMs have different strengths and weaknesses, right?
Exactly. So expanding the range that GPT Migrate can use.
Could enhance its performance even further.
It's all about pushing the boundaries, you know?
I love it. Okay, so we've gone from the basics of what GPT Migrate is
The fundamentals,
to how it works,
the nitty-gritty,
its potential applications,
the big picture.
and current limitations.
Keeping it real.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a whole world of possibilities to explore.
We're just getting started.
From the ethics of AI-assisted coding
Big questions there.
to the potential impact on the future of software development.
The future is AI.
Sounds like we've got a lot more to cover.
I can't wait.
Let's take a quick break and then dive back in to explore the broader implications of GPT Migrate.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
See you soon.
Okay, so we've talked about how GPT Migrate could be amazing for startups, enterprises, individual developers.
It's a real game changer.
But let's think bigger. What about organizations outside of, like, the traditional tech world?
Okay, yeah.
Where else could this tech make a difference?
One area that pops into my mind is research institutions.
Oh, interesting.
Universities, think about all those research projects.
Right, so many projects.
Where they're experimenting with different programming languages.
It's constant, right?
All the time.
Always trying new things.
Yeah, they're pushing the boundaries of knowledge.
Exactly. They're working with cutting-edge tech.
So a tool like GPT Migrate,
It could be huge for them.
it could really streamline their workflow.
Because instead of spending all that time on manual code conversion,
Yeah, it's such a time sink.
they could use GPT Migrate to quickly port code.
From one environment to another.
And that frees them up to focus on their research.
Even important stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like giving them a superpower.
It's accelerating the pace of discovery and innovation.
I love that.
And you mentioned universities.
Yeah.
Could GPT Migrate even play a role in education?
Oh, absolutely. Like how? Imagine students using GPT Migrate to get hands-on experience with all these different programming languages.
Without getting bogged down in the syntax.
Exactly. They can focus on the concepts, the problem solving.
Instead of struggling with the mechanics of each language.
Yeah, it would revolutionize computer science education.
It would make learning more engaging.
More effective, for sure.
Okay, so research, education. What about government agencies?
Oh, good one.
They often have these legacy systems.
Oh, yeah, those old dinosaurs.
They're so costly to maintain.
A nightmare.
GPT Migrate could offer a solution.
Potentially, yeah. Especially for agencies with tight budgets.
It could be a way to modernize those aging systems
Without breaking the bank.
and freeing up resources for other initiatives
Exactly.
so they can provide better services to citizens.
That's the goal, right?
Right, and it could even help with the shortage of developers, right?
Oh, that's a good point. By making those legacy systems easier to manage,
It could attract and retain more tech talent.
which is so crucial these days.
This is amazing. We've gone from startups to global enterprises to research labs to government agencies.
It's everywhere.
Is there anywhere GPT Migrate wouldn't be useful?
Well, we can't forget about the open source community.
Oh, that's true.
That's where so much collaboration and innovation happens.
It's the heart of software development.
And GPT Migrate could boost that even further.
How so?
Think about it. You could contribute to projects.
In languages you don't even know.
Exactly.
It's wild.
It could break down language barriers.
Making open source more inclusive.
More diverse, for sure.
And what about documentation? A lot of open source projects struggle to keep their docs up to date.
Especially in multiple languages.
GPT Migrate could automatically translate those docs.
Making the software accessible to a wider audience.
It's all about democratizing access.
To knowledge, to tools.
Okay, I'm convinced. GPT Migrate has the potential to transform everything.
It's pretty incredible, yeah.
But let's be realistic. We've talked about the upsides.
The good stuff.
What about the downside?
The risks, yeah.
The challenges. What do we need to be careful of as this tech develops?
It's always important to be cautious with powerful technology.
Absolutely.
One concern that often comes up with AI is bias.
Right, because AI models are trained on massive data sets.
And those data sets can reflect existing biases in the world.
So if GPT Migrate is trained on biased code,
It could perpetuate those biases in the code it generates.
that's a real concern.
It is, but the developers are aware of it.
Okay, good.
They're exploring ways to mitigate bias.
In the training data.
Yeah, and in the output of the tool.
That's good to hear.
Transparency is also crucial.
So we need to be able to understand how GPT Migrate is making decisions.
Exactly, not just blindly trust it.
We need to be able to audit the process
Identify potential errors.
to ensure the reliability and security of the code.
It's a lot of work,
It is.
but the potential benefits are so huge, it's worth it.
I agree.
It's a complex landscape, for sure.
With both exciting opportunities and potential pitfalls.
But if we approach it thoughtfully, collaboratively.
We can harness the power of AI for good.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've explored the applications, the ethical consideration.
And what to think about.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the broader impact of GPT Migrate.
Okay, yeah.
How do you see this tech shaping software development in the years to come?
That's a big question.
It is.
It's sparked a lot of debate in the developer community.
I bet.
I think GPT Migrate is like a window into the future,
What do you mean?
a future where AI plays a much bigger role in software development.
Some people are worried AI will replace developers altogether.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Do you think those fears are justified?
I don't think so, no. I don't think we're heading towards a world where AI takes over completely.
Okay.
I think it's more likely that AI will augment human capabilities.
So instead of writing every line of code from scratch,
Right.
developers will be more like architects,
Guiding the AI.
making sure it produces high-quality code.
I like that analogy.
It's like having an AI co-pilot,
Yeah.
helping you navigate the complexities of code.
So you can focus on the innovation.
And this could make coding more accessible, right?
Absolutely.
AI-powered tools like GPT Migrate,
They could lower the barrier to entry.
making it easier for more people to become developers.
People from all backgrounds, all skill sets.
It could lead to a surge in creativity and innovation.
It's an exciting time to be in software.
It really is.
We're on the cusp of a major transformation,
I agree.
and it's amazing to be a part of it.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
A lot of ground.
From the technical details to the potential applications, the ethical concerns,
It's been a journey.
but I feel like this is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah, this is just the start of the conversation.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our GPT Migrate deep dive.
2 down, 1 to go.
Join us in part 3,
We'll be back.
where we'll continue this thought-provoking exploration
We've got more to discuss.
and leave you with some final insights to ponder.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone, for the final part of our deep dive into GPT Migrate.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. We've talked about the tech, the potential, the challenges.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But now I want to focus on you, the listener.
You got it. Let's get personal.
As we've been talking about GPT Migrate,
Yeah.
what's been going through your mind?
What questions do you have?
Are you excited about the possibilities?
Like having an AI co-pilot to help you code?
Or are you a little nervous about the impact on your job?
On the future of software development.
Maybe you're somewhere in between.
Yeah, intrigued, but also a little cautious.
Whatever your perspective, it's important to be part of this conversation.
To stay informed.
Because the world of software development is changing. AI isn't science fiction anymore.
It's here.
It's already changing how we build and use technology.
And GPT Migrate is just the beginning.
There will be even more powerful AI tools in the future.
So the question is, are you ready?
Are you ready for this wave of innovation?
Are you willing to adapt?
To learn new skills? To work alongside AI?
It's a challenge
But it's also an incredible opportunity.
because as AI becomes more integrated into everything,
Those who embrace it,
those who learn to work with it.
those are the ones who will thrive.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
I want to leave you with one final thought.
the future is being shaped right now
And it's being shaped by those who are willing to embrace change.
by those who are willing to experiment.
To learn, to push the boundaries.
Don't be afraid to dive into the world of AI.
Explore its capabilities.
Imagine what you can create with it.
Remember, knowledge is power.
And staying informed is key.
That's it for our deep dive into GPT Migrate.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope it sparked some ideas.
Made you think about the future.
Be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the resources we mentioned.
And as always, thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.